Hello everyone, Burger Brush here, and this is going to be a video about the builds that I've been playing in the 3.14 Ultimatum League. So I usually don't make videos like this and I don't know what you want to call it, like these build diaries kind of videos. And the reason why I want to do that now is because I've been really busy this league with school and other stuff, so I haven't really had the same amount of time to either stream or put into making videos so far about the builds that I've been playing. But I want to say this, every single build that is in this video will have its own build guide coming up later on. Especially the Hierophant Totem Divine Ire will actually have its own forum guide as well, alongside with a leveling guide and a build guide in its video format as well. But for this Bladefall, Bladeblast, Elementalist that you see here, and then the Slayer Cyclone, I will just make two videos talking a little bit about the characters themselves. But this video is just going to be a little quick showcase about all three characters and kind of talk a little bit about them really quickly. So the first one we're going to talk about here is the Bladefall Bladeblast Elementalist. And the reason why I chose Elementalist is because I really like the Ascendancy overall. It has pretty good damage with Convergence and the Exposure, and then I'm a big fan of the quality of life of having the golems, you know, damage and defenses, elemental ailment immunity, all that stuff. I'm really into it, so I think Elementalist is a great Ascendancy overall, which is why I chose that. One thing I want to say as well is that this is basically a character that I made out of DS Lily's Bladefall Bladeblast Raider that she has been playing in hardcore earlier this league. So she made a video and a guide about that, and it looked so freaking cool and interesting that I wanted to play it myself. But I like to adapt different builds into my own playstyle, so I've been changing it up a little bit more for me who plays softcore and all that stuff. So it's still a really tanky build and all that shit, but I just, you know, changed a lot of the gear and obviously the Ascendancy to make it more into my own kind of playstyle for how I like to play the game. And I'm not a big fan of playing big meta builds, you know, like Bladefall, Bladeblast, but for some reason I just decided that I wanted to do it when I saw her video, but I wanted to make it into something a little bit more of my own. But huge shout out to her, you know, she's a great content creator and the build is so freaking strong on its own. So I've been changing it up for my personal preference, you know, a little bit more softcore suited. It's still not as tanky as her version is, I guess, but it's still super tanky, great damage, and actually quite fun to play. We have mega high dodge and all the mind over matter shit, you know, all that stuff. And it has great damage, great clear speed, and I've just been having a blast with it. I've been heisting with it and like high tier mapping with it and all that shit. So it's been going fantastic and I really like the build. So here we have the Bladefall Bladeblast Elementalist, and the gear is nothing extremely crazy. It's still pretty good, but nothing too crazy. The skill tree kind of looks like this if you want to have a quick look at it. You know, nothing too major. And I use Cloak of Defiance because, you know, it's great for like this Mind Over Matter kind of playstyle. Essence Worm Ring, Two-Stone Ring with the conductivity on hit, Atzir's Foible with Mind Drinker, whatever, once with some damage on it, Crown of the Inward Eye. I actually use the Omegan Cardinal Boots. I like these boots because of the onslaught that they provide and all the dodge to attack and spells as well because of the mana. And even though we lose 7% mana per second, we have so much mana regen that we make up for it. And then just kind of whatever gloves. Nothing really crazy for flasks. And yeah, I mean, like, that's basically it. I'm not really going to go over more of the gear here in detail. As I said, that will be in a later video. Now, for the Cyclone Slayer that I've been playing this league, the reason why I made this character was because I had some time and some money over in the game and I didn't really know what to do, so I just decided to, like, hey, fuck it, like, let's just spend all the money I have in the game on this stupid AoE meme Cyclone, you know, like, it's not going to be that strong, but, you know, a lot of people always talk about the glory days of Cyclone back in Legion League when it was, like, screen wide, and that they nerfed it and it's so hard to get now, etc. And I just said, alright, so I'll see if I can bring something like that back, you know, with the really big AoE overall and really good movement speed, so the clear speed is fantastic and it just feels great to play. But it's not really that strong in late game, let me tell you that. So what you're seeing here is a tier 10 Strand map and a tier 11 Dunes map. Nothing really too crazy, just whatever all, because this guy can basically do all map mods. But yeah, it's not like tier 16. You're gonna slam Sirius's ass like it's nothing. It's not really like that. This is just a little bit of a meme that I wanted to make and just see like how much AoE can I get on this character, and how good of clear speed can I get on it. Now, this character is around 48, I think, AoE, if I'm not mistaken, on the Cyclone. And looking in Path Building, you can get 55 or 56 with really crazy gear if you invest all of it into AoE and you just drop all the damage that you have. You can make it even larger, but you know, the character is going to be pretty trash. But you could probably make this character really strong and big AoE if you have ridiculous amounts of money, which I don't really bother doing. Like, I'm not going to spend that much money on this, you know. I just kind of wanted to see, with like 15-20x, how big AoE can I get and how nice can the character feel like. But yeah, this is basically it. It's big AoE, it's fast, it's kind of fun, but nothing really that will get you far into the end game. And the gear for the Slayer, as I said, we have invested quite a bit into Hour of Effect. So the gear in this character is a little bit stronger because, like I said, I still wanted to invest a little bit and make it somewhat decent, but nothing too crazy. And I have invested a lot into AoE and speed, so the character doesn't really have a lot of damage. So we just got, you know, spike gloves with life and stuff, but we got the +1 melee strike range. I got Tailwind elusive boots for juicy speed. We have whatever rings, we have Carcass Jack for the Hour of Effect, we have There is a Salute because it works pretty well on a Slayer with Overleech and +2 melee strike range, and then movement speed as well. Devotor's Devotion with the Blood and Sand increased buff effect for movement speed and for the AoE. And for the weapon, I was lucky enough to actually get a hold of this +2 weapon rage, 15% increased air effect, and tier 1 attack speed axe for like 20 chaos. And then I spammed reroll prefixes, keep suffixes in harvest until I got, you know, a decent flat fist, and then I just crafted the rest of the percentage fist on this to make it a decent weapon for damage, but mainly it's just for AoE. And then for the skill tree, you know, impact for AoE, and we get brinkmanship for AoE, and we get all the stuff for AoE, you know, splitting strikes and all this AoE here, and the AoE from executioner. We go slaughter and cleaving for melee strike range and, you know, onslaught stuff. And then we have magnifier, titanic swings for AoE and some nice damage. And yeah, that's basically it. This is the skill tree, that's the gear, nothing really too major, but yeah. And then Awaken, increased arrow effect, and then Pulverize for just AoE. So like I said, it's just all AoE. And another really important thing to have is to have versatile stance, because it gives more AoE in sand stance, and we also have Blood and Sand buff effect on our helmet for more AoE in sand stance. So, you know, it kind of looks like this because it's just all AoE, baby. Also level 21 Cyclone, because that gives one more stage on the Cyclone up to 7, which also gives, guess what, more AoE. Alright, and then we have the last card that I've been playing, which is the Divine Ire Hierophant Totem build. And the reason why I made this was because a friend of mine in real life who started playing PoE was looking for a beginner guide for an easy to play character, and he was asking me like, how many guides are there really? And I was like, I guess if you want to look for like a really simple, easy to play, easy to understand guide in Path of Exile, there's only like 3, 4, 5 of them, you know. Like I have my Cycloner, and you know, we have the Enki's Arc Witch and stuff like that, but and then there are some other options. I'm not going to go over all of them, but I'm like, there were only like 4 or 5, and it's kind of slim pickings. So I just decided that like, hey, maybe I should make another one. You know, so many people have been giving my Cyclone champion a lot of praise for how easy it is to understand and how much they enjoy the build. So, you know, I just said, hey, let's make another one, and let's make this one a little bit different, because I just don't want to make Cyclone characters all the damn time. So I came up with the idea that I wanted to play Divine Ire again, because I love Divine Ire. It's such a fun skill. And I wanted to make super easy for like league starting, for low budget, for if you're new to the game, and what other option is there if you want to do that and pair it with Divine Ire, unless you go Totems on Hierophant. So here we are. But the character's actually been quite fun. It's really strong. And it's been very easy to play, obviously. You run around, put down totems on the ground, and they just destroy everything. And the great thing about this character is that, like, you know, we play like the mind over matter stuff, super defensively. We get max block, we get curse immune, we get stun immune, and we get multiple layers of defenses. And then the totems is so easy of a playstyle as well. It's actually so chill to play this character, and it has been like really strong. And I really felt like what I went out to do, you know, make this very easy to play character for beginners. It's been going really good for that purpose, and I also have a guide on this already on the forum. I just need to release the final video of the character, and I will also release a leveling guide video for this as well. But yeah, it's been going really great, and with all these like really good defensive things and how easy it is to play the character, I think it's fantastic for that purpose, and it's been quite chill to play myself. And I've been taking it into the end game, killing Sears and all that shit. And yeah, this has actually been a little bit more fun than I thought it would be, because I'm not really a totem guy, but Divine Ire certainly makes up for that, because I think just Divine Ire is such a freaking cool skill. And now for the Divine Ire Totem Hierophant. We have quite interesting gear here and a lot of uniques, and we're going to go over everything really quickly. So let's start off with the helmet. The Rudis Veil is a really interesting and very good helmet. It gives resist, it gives +1 socket of gems and all that stuff, but the main thing is that you are hexproof if you have a magic ring in your right slot. And damage of enemies hitting you is unlucky while you have a magic ring equipped. So by having a magic ring in our right slot and just having a magic ring overall, we are actually immune kind of to curses. So curses still are applied to us, but they just doesn't do anything. So as you can see here above my head, we have all these curses, and even if you enter maps with curses, it doesn't matter. We're basically curse immune. But the fun thing about this is that we use the where is it? The self-flagellation jewel. So 17% increased damage per curse on you. And look at that. That's a lot of curses, so that's a lot of damage. So we turn curses into damage, and we don't really care about curses either, which is really nice. There are other ways to achieving this as well, which is in the build guide, but you know, this is the combo I used for endgame. Then we have Essence Worm with Wrath, because you know, we're playing this Mind Over Matter stuff here as well, and you know, we're playing Hierophant with Divine Guidance and all that shit. That's our like defensive layer. Amulet with just life and damage and resist whatever, Arcane Swiftness, pretty standard. The Restless Courage is actually a very interesting shield, and I really enjoy the shield because of how much block it gives when you are low life. And the thing is that we have the Coward's Legacy chain belt. So you count as low life while you are cursed with vulnerability. And this curses with vulnerability all the time. So we get cursed with vulnerability, we always count as low life, but we aren't low life. And because of that, all the low life stuff applied to us. So we can use the Teresa's Courage, and we can also have Pain Attunement for juicy damage. But the curse, it still doesn't do anything. So this is damage and defenses and then more damage, and it's so freaking fantastic. And I really like this setup of having, you know, the helmet and this belt and then this shield for the defenses. So you know, we get max block, curse immune, and then we are stun immune, and then we have Mind Over Matter and all this shit, blah 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 blah. You pop Vol Grace during maps as well. Super tanky, super easy to play this character. I absolutely freaking love it, and been having an absolute blast with this character as well. And remember also that, as I said earlier, videos for these characters will be up in the future. Especially the Divine Ire Totem Hierophant will have its own extensive build guide on the forum, which it already has, and also have a video and a leveling guide video for that character as well. And the path of building to all these characters can be found in the description.
Thank you very much for watching the video. Remember to subscribe here on YouTube, and also follow my Twitch over at twitch.tv/burgerbrush. And while you're at it, remember to write me into your will and donate everything of your heritage and whatever your future kids are gonna make as money, and everything that you own as well. Donate that over to me, and thank you very much, and peace out. Fuck off now.